What's happening YouTube? My name is Alex and welcome to a new review. For today we have another cheap action camera from China that can record in 4K. Now keep in mind that all these cheap action cameras from China that say that can record in 4K are not actually recording in 4K. They're recording in 2K and that recording is interpolated to 4K, so always keep that in mind. This one here costs about $50, and the funny thing is that I reviewed another action camera a couple of weeks ago and these two look identical, so everything is the same except for the brand on the front. Let's start with a very quick unboxing. So the camera comes in a very good looking box. On the front we see a couple of pictures and on the back we see some specifications. However, we don't see the actual specs of the camera. Inside the box we are going to find a waterproof case and the camera. The manufacturer suggests that the waterproof case is good to up to 40 meters in the water. However, I didn't actually go swimming with the case. However, I did put the case in water and there was no water coming in. So always keep that in mind. I can't really test the waterproof case to see if it's actually good to up to like 40 meters underwater. Aside from that, you're gonna find the user manual. The user manual is in English and it's got a whole bunch of pictures. There is also a carrying pouch, so you can keep the camera in this carrying pouch whenever you're not using it. There is a second battery in there and also a whole bunch of mounts and stickers. So you can basically place this camera onto anything, on a helmet, on a bicycle, basically on anything. The camera is made out of plastic entirely and it doesn't give you that premium feel or look. So on the front we have a little screen that can show you some information. We have the lens and a power button. The power button is also a mode button. On the right hand side we have the HDMI out, we also have the charging port, the slot for the SD card and the microphone. This camera can be used whenever you are charging it, so you can have a cable charging the camera and you can still record whenever it's charging. So this camera can also be used in a car as a dash cam. As for the SD card, it can take a SD card with a capacity of 64 gigs. Now let's talk about the microphone for a little bit. Now unfortunately, just like the other action camera that I reviewed a couple of weeks ago, the sound is not the best. So aside from being out of sync, it doesn't sound that good. It sounds a bit muffled, but I'm gonna show you a couple of samples so you can see for yourself how the microphone sounds. This is the first microphone test with this new action camera that I'm trying out. As you can probably tell, the windows are closed, so the only thing that you're listening to is my voice. So this is how the microphone sounds without any other noise around it. And for our second microphone test, I'm outside. You should hear the noise from the water and it's also windy. So this is how the microphone would sound if you'd be recording outside. And as you've heard, the microphone doesn't record the best sound, aside from being out of sync. Now continuing back to the camera, so on top you're gonna find the OK or the recording button, and there is also an LED there, and on the other side we have two buttons. With those two buttons you can basically zoom in and zoom out. Keep in mind that this is an electronic zoom, so it's not an optical zoom, and that means that you're gonna lose a lot of pixels. So aside from that, you can turn on the Wi-Fi network because this camera can make a Wi-Fi network, so it can be controlled from your smartphone. And moving to the bottom of the camera, there we have a 900 milliamp battery. This battery is removable and you can basically replace it with another one. And you can record about, I don't know, I would say 80-90 minutes at 1080p. And lastly, on the back of the camera we have a 2-inch screen. Now the screen doesn't get that bright and the viewing angles are pretty bad, so if you're not looking straight at the camera, well, you're not gonna be able to see what's happening on the screen, so always look straight at the camera. For picture quality, well, if you have enough light, the pictures turn out decent. I mean, they don't turn out exceptionally good, but decent. Now, if you don't have enough light, so let's say that you're taking pictures at nighttime, yeah, the pictures don't look good at all. And all the pictures that I took at nighttime, well, the sky kind of looks blue, even though it should be black. So, of course, these pictures that you've been watching were all taken with this camera, so not the best pictures out there. This camera can also record in slow motion at 720p at 120 frames per second, and I'm gonna show you a little sample that I took with this in slow motion. I guess it looks okay, but considering that it's recorded at 720p, yeah. Alright, now daytime recordings. Daytime recordings look average, or maybe below average, so not great, but I'm gonna show you a few clips that I recorded so you can see for yourself. And lastly, nighttime recordings. Well, as you'd expect, nighttime recordings aren't the best, and that's the case with most action cameras under $100 basically. So here are a couple of samples of recordings done at nighttime. Now the video quality from this camera, it's so not the absolute best, but let's remember the price of this camera. So this only costs about $50, so we have to take that into consideration for anything, because like everything, you do get what you pay for. This camera can also make a Wi-Fi network and be controlled from your smartphone. So you're gonna have to download an app from the Google Play Store or the iOS Store, depending on what device you have, and then you can just control the camera from there. So you can start recording, you can stop recording, you can change some settings, and you can even see what's on the camera. So everything can be done from your smartphone without touching the camera. This works good up to 10 meters away from the camera. The camera's menu, it's very simple as well. So everything is divided in between video recordings, picture recordings, and basically general settings. For video recordings, you can just change the resolution and a couple of other things in there. For picture taking, you can't really change that much. You basically leave it as it is. And for general settings, you can use this as a dash cam. You can format the SD card, you can change the languages and stuff like that. But we don't really have that many options, and this camera doesn't even have gyro stabilization. And it's time to conclude this video. So yes, this camera is not the absolute best out there. So it doesn't take the best videos, doesn't take the best pictures, but let's remember the price. This only costs about $50, and like anything else, you do get what you pay for. We do get a lot of stuff with this camera, so a lot of mounts, a lot of value basically for that $50. If you want amazing pictures and amazing videos, well, you're gonna have to spend $300–400 and go get yourself a GoPro. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, don't forget to press that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.